Good day, folks. Welcome to 406 Regen. Today I was feeling a little housebound, so I'm riding the four-wheeler out back now. The snow's down good enough I can pick my way through and kind of show some scenery off of the place. This is neighbor's land right here in this little bit of section. That's why the fence is on it. The majority of our land out here is not fenced, so that is one of the there's two main big obstacles I have to get over out here, and that's water and fencing. Now I'm working on the fencing and the water. Well, that's, you gotta take it one day at a time. Yeah, it's gonna be drifted over there. You gotta take it one day at a time to get everything built. But we'll get there. That's, this year I'm planning on getting 350 acres fenced in and figuring out some water to get to them that way. The sheep. I haven't been able to have any of the animals out here. Drifted. Alright, maybe we'll make it. Alright. Deer tracks. Nope. Coyote tracks. So anyway, I was riding out here, wanted to see the land again. It's always good to study your land, what it's doing, whether there's snow on it, which obviously there is, or raining. You want to be able to see, you want to see what the land's doing. Oh, crud. Okay, hold on. That one was a little deeper than I thought it was going to be. So, anyway. You want to be able to see what the land's doing when you're not on it. And unless you study the land, you'll never know. So, like on my left here, this is a field. Before we knew about regen ag and farming, we plowed this up on the left-hand side there. And now a little bit on this side. Now this one here, we got luckier because we didn't hit it in the drought quite yet. When we first planted on this field, it wasn't a drought yet, so it's done better than my other cover crops. But my mistake on this, I planted too many perennials thinking that, the land would be able to support them and to get it growing good. Since I planted this field, other than the one spring, it's been a drought ever since then, and we haven't touched it. Okay, we would have planted this the fall of 2020. There's been no grazing on it. There's been no cutting it. But as you can see, in doing that, there's a little bit of green down in there yet. See, kick the snow back. This is awesome to me. This never used to happen out here on this land, on the old stuff we'd have. I don't know if the camera's focusing or not, but there's green grass there. Now, up on top of the hill, it gets a little worse. The back side, the hill over there, gets a little bit better. So, I'm hoping the drought, I think, kind of broke this last fall. So hopefully we get the moisture in the spring that we're supposed to, and this stuff will take off. I have to figure out a way, because I do not have the amount of livestock it'll take to get all this trampled. So I'm trying to think of a way to get it laying down on the ground before spring really rolls into effect on us, starts growing. I'd love to be able to knock all this down out here and try to get it as flat as I possibly can, so the stuff, so it makes a mat like that. If you can just somehow fold it down I don't know if a land roller will do it. I guess I tried to roll that last spring. That's all I did to that one, is I tried to roll it. And it really didn't work with the dry matter. It didn't work like that. So let me drive up the hill here ways and I'll get back to you. Okay, see on the left there, that's the field that we plowed up, the section of the field. The field actually runs to where you see the grass. There's a little road right out there, right in there. We plowed up from here, that direction, to a fence line. But you can see the amount of cover you catch, even though it's not down. And farmers will say, "Oh, I got to leave standing to catch the water," and you do. But folks, when your ground's not right, saying you got to have standing dead to catch the water, it's kind of like trying to fill up a 5-gallon bucket with holes in the bottom. You got the bucket, you're catching water, but you're not maintaining it. You're not keeping it. So until you get your ground built right, you're not keeping that water. You got to be able to keep the water. In my brain, I was talking to a farmer, one of the bigger farmers around here, about this when I was hauling some of his grain, and he's like, "Well, you want standing to catch as much snow as you can have." It's like, well, that's great, and you're right. You want to catch it, but I think first you'd have to worry about trying to do the best job you can on keeping it, and then worry about catching it. I mean, catching it does you no good if your land won't keep it. But as you can see here, there's hayed field, not touched. Now, that grass right there that's poking up, that's about 4 inches tall. Out there, I guarantee you the snow's a lot deeper than that. But, so I thought I'd just come out, kind of show some scenery. I'll go ride over there on this big hill, and we'll talk about that field and how that one, the drought kind of bit us in that one, and my brothers and mine, not completely understanding what we're doing with the planter yet. Because folks, this was all in CRP. This was just kind of hayed, and other than that, it wasn't touched for, well, let's see, we started haying probably when I was about 13. It was been CRP before that. I'm 31 now, so it's been hayed a long, long time without no minerals getting put in the ground. So let's ride over and talk about that field, and I'll get back to you. Alrighty, folks, this is kind of up on a hillside out back on our place. I mean, I could get up higher. There's a hill there I could get up, but for the majority, this is a good kind of what we're dealing with out here. As you can see, there's no trees, there's no civil pasture. Probably still screwed that up in my brain. Out here for any animals, so my plan is, once I get the ground growing, let's see, our land goes to that little white hill there. There's gonna be a fence line running. So my idea, once the ground gets growing good, is to go ahead and plant trees. There's a little runoff from those hillsides, which it sucks. You got all the chemicals and stuff from farmers that are gonna be running down that draw. But I'm gonna plant trees in there to try to get myself some cover out here for the place. Because as you can see, I mean, it's nice and wide open territory. There's a better look at the field that we had, the other side of the field there that we plowed up, and where it's really, really white. That's where we hayed. Where it's, got the dead standing, we didn't. So, but yeah, so it's kind of bored today. I wanted to get out back, it's a gorgeous day out, so I want to do a little riding, see the land again, get out of the house, see some of the wild animals out here. Don't know if you can pick that up on the camera or not, but there's. Never zoomed in that well. Yeah, no, it's all blurry. Some deer out there. So, yeah, that's what we're working with out here. And this field here, let's again talk about what we screwed up. We planted this. This is about 105. There's about 105 acres here. So right on the other side of that hill, and this side down into the drawdown. Oh, fingers way off. Into the draw down in there. It's about 105 acres. One of the other fields that we plowed up, we plowed this one up because we had weeds on here and we didn't want to spray it. And weed that people say, you don't want in the hay crop you sell. So this land actually sat. We really screwed up with it because it sat a long time. And if we would have been in regen egg about 2 years quicker, we'd have been a lot further ahead on this ground. But we weren't. Our ground out here is a lot of clay. So if you don't till it right, you either end up with really clumpy ground or you got to pulverize it. Especially if you're trying to get thistles out of the ground. Out here, the old farmers, you'd work it. If you didn't spray, you had to work 6 or 7 times throughout the season and just pulverize it so there ain't nothing left of the ground. We didn't quite do that bad, but we definitely put our hurting on the land here. The first year we planted it, we went a little too deep. The drought started. It didn't come in. This last year, even though it was a drought, we had some of the seed left, and just enough of the seed left to try to get it out here and growing again. I'm hoping it's taking off this year. This spring. Yeah, I'm really excited for this spring to see what's going to come up or not, because a lot of the dead standing you see out here, all brown in this white field, that's all alfalfa leaves, all of alfalfa stems. So it'll be a pretty good field as soon as it starts taking off and growing good. But we'll see. The springtime will tell. That field over there is the other big one that we plowed up where it's all brown and fixed. Now that one did really good last year. We didn't plant no sweet clover last year, other than when this place was in CRP, the sweet clover mix was in the ground. And that field out there, that brown one, looked exactly like we would have just went and planted just sweet clover in it. It all grew about to be 9 inches tall, sweet clover. Just the whole thing, thick as can be. I couldn't believe it. There was no sweet clover in our ground, in the mix that we put in the ground this time around. So I don't know. That's what I mean by there's seeds in the seed bank that if the conditions are right or wrong, whatever you want to look at it for that field. I'm not sure why all the sweet clover grew up like that. Grateful it did. It was weird. You ride past it during the summertime and you could just hear all the bees in it. That whole area over there sounded like it was just humming. It's pretty cool. And that's why we're doing regen. We want more livestock. We want wildlife, whether it's bees or beetles, more deer. I'd like to say antelope, but once I get my high tensile electric up around this place, they'll have a hard time getting in here. So probably won't have too many antelope around, unless we probably won't get the antelope population going really good here on our land. It's around the area, but antelope for the most part, they don't jump fences, they go under it, which if you have a high tensile electric fence something can go under it, your sheep are going to be out. So that's going to be problematic for them buggers, but The deer will love it. And like I say, I'm going to try to plant trees in this draw all the way down that draw until I can't even hardly see it here, until that black little ridge over there. I'd like to get trees planted out here. So, alright, guess that's just me rambling today. Have a good one.